Welcome to another episode of the Metal Queens podcast. I'm Steve Richards. This is where we celebrate the fiercest women in metal from around the world. Today, we're heading into the cinematic and symphonic depths of modern metal. Formed in Buenos Aires, Argentina in 2020 and now based in the Netherlands, Abstracted Mind blends powerful orchestral arrangements with progressive intensity and emotional storytelling. What started as a studio project between vocalist Julie Hope and guitarist Yamil Ladner has evolved into a full live force, delivering stunning performances across Europe and even making waves at Portugal's Loras Nobilis Music Festival. With singles like Eternals and Despair that came out in 2024 and the single Where It Begins, which came out last year, Abstracted Mind is building toward their big debut album coming out later this year. And trust me, symphonic metal fans, this is one band you need to get on your radar. And joining me today, the voice behind the vision of the band, the incredible Julie Hope. Welcome to the Metal Queens podcast.
Thank you. How are you doing?
Good. How are you? Julie's joining me from the Netherlands
Good.
today. Take me back to
Yes.
2020, the year of COVID, of course, in Buenos Aires.
Yeah, what a
Ha-
wonderful year,
oh,
right?
what a wonderful year, right? How did Abstracted Mind first come to life?
Well, like it is a funny thing to say, but in 2020, apart from being the year of the pandemic, and I think that we all remember that, it was also one year that I personally decided, okay, I don't want to postpone things that I want to do anymore. And I think that it was like that for a lot of people, actually. Like, was a positive thing in the middle of the chaos. So I have like some songs in mind. I compose a lot. Most of the things never see the light, but I decided, okay, no, I think it's time, for the songs to see the light. They are better out there than in my computer for only for myself. So I spoke to Shamin. And was we were together in a previous band, but he was the drummer of another project. So we already like compose or arrange songs together. So we started like that. Like, okay, we have a couple of songs. Let's see what happened. Like, see what how people react and if people like it or not, but they will be better out there than in our computer. So it started like that, more like let's say like I have these since a couple of years. I want now this to see the light.
Mm. Now, you and Yamil started this as a studio project. At that point,
Yes.
did you envision it becoming a full international live band?
No,
Mm.
not at that moment, because in 2020 we still haven't really thought about moving. It was just because another opportunity appeared in later in 2021. And then when we moved here, of course, we had to settle first. And then we thought, okay, yeah, maybe it's time. I mean, we considered that as an option back in Argentina, but then in the middle of that, we moved. So we couldn't really play live in Argentina before coming here. We only played in some online festivals. That was a thing at that moment, you
Hmm.
know.
So the move to the Netherlands, you said it was an opportunity there. How did that move, Julie, influence your sound and creative direction?
Well, we decided to change the language for our compositions. We started the project back in Argentina where speaking English is not that common. I mean, if you don't use it for your daily life or if you don't use it at work, you don't use it at all. You don't need it because we are surrounded by another countries that are also Spanish speakers. So you don't really need it. So, but when we both we decided, okay, maybe if we want to deliver a message, we want people to be able to understand. And here in the Netherlands, the English level is super good. Everyone speaks English, so we decided to change to switch to a language that they could understand.
Do you feel your Argentine roots still shape the emotional core of the music?
Absolutely.
Mm.
Yes, yes, I think so. I'm the main lyricist for the band, so yeah, it's in my DNA. So I think so. Like the way that I see the world, it doesn't change. So.
Yeah. Abstracted Mind blends symphonic, progressive, and cinematic elements too. When you sit down to write, does the orchestration come first or the emotion?
It depends on the message that I want to deliver. Or if it's based in if I want to deliver more like a message or an emotion in particularly. So most of the time it just starts like with a vocal melody or a chord progression, and then the orchestral arrangements are like one of the last things. But some other songs really started with some orchestration. Was a very weird thing to start a song, but it ended up well both ways.
You released two singles in 2024, Eternals and Despair. Check out those videos, by the way. They're great. They feel very bold and dramatic, Julie. What themes were you exploring in those two tracks?
Well, Eternals started like honestly one day that I was super frustrated
Mm.
about the thing that us as a musician has to become like more aware of what to do with social media and a lot of stuff that are not really things that we are prepared for, you know? It's like if you study music, it's because you want to become a musician, and then you had to become a lot of stuff when you do everything on your own. So I was like really upset by some stuff that was going on, and that's how Eternals started like a way of saying, okay, it's weird how it ends up like people is constantly concerned about what other people think of them or the way that they show to the world, and sometimes it differs very profoundly from reality. So it was more like a wake up call, like, okay, maybe it's time for you to decide, do you want to really live your life, or do you care more what people will think about you? So it's sort of more like that.
Your vocal delivery, Julie, carries both power and a lot of vulnerability too. Who were some of your early vocal inspirations in symphonic or progressive metal?
Oh, definitely Flor Jansen is one
Hmm.
of the biggest influences in my career, and it's weird because she's from here from the Netherlands, but I met after forever when I was still living in Buenos Aires when I was a teen. So I think that she's one of my biggest influences.
When Rutger and Eva joined, how did that dynamic, it was just the two of you up until that point, shift the energy of the band?
Well, first of all, they are great musicians. They are. They play incredibly. I'm a bass player too, but Rutger is in another level. He's a really good musician, and also it's a pleasure to play with Eva because she's not only a drummer, she's a full musician. She understands where to put more aggressivity or where to hold back because it's the feeling of the song, and that is very weird to find in a drummer. So we are really happy to having them, and also like the good energy that they already have, the willing to help in whatever that we need. So yeah, it changes for good.
Julie, was music big in your house growing up in Argentina?
Sorry?
Was music big in your house? Your parents, did they perform at all?
Oh, I mean, yes and no. My mother is like very big fan of awesome bands. Like she introduced me to Queen, for instance, and it's one band that I still admire a lot. Like she has a really good taste in music, but yeah, she sings also, but not professionally speaking. But she always loved music, and I think that I learned to love music through her, even if she's doing something completely different. And she's also into art, more like an actress than into music. But I think that was one of my biggest influences because I grew up like listening to a lot of different kinds of music, from classical music to rock bands. So
What is the metal scene like in Argentina?
oof. It's a very complicated thing, I
Mm.
had to say, because I mean, it has some things that are good, some things that are not that good. I mean, it's complicated. It's complicated because most of the places where you go to play, sometimes they don't take you very seriously, or they don't want to pay you at all, or they ask you for selling tickets and stuff like that. But that's like the bad part, but on the good part, there are like very good bands or very good people around there. It's not that all of that is bad, but it is very difficult for venues to consider you serious, especially if you do rock, metal. Maybe if you do another type of style, maybe more pop related or acoustic music, you will find like people treat you better, like more
Mm.
seriously. But for metal scene, it's still too small, you know?
Yeah, but the Netherlands a lot different, right?
Yes, it is different. I mean, I believe that for metal music, it will be always a little bit underground. I mean, it's not like a very mainstream thing. I mean, there are metal fans around the world, of course, and it's not that we are just a few people, but in comparison with another genres that are like, like when all of those artists plays all the time on the stadiums or stuff like that, I think that is in comparison it's the smallest scene, but I think that here like venues really treat you with more respect or take you more seriously, and also the level of the bands is very very good. And I've seen like really extreme metal music live, and still the venues still manage to make it that sound good, you know,
Mm.
like you understand everything even if it's super extreme, super fast. So it differs a lot from Argentina, yes.
Let's talk about the latest single, Where It Begins. This track will be on the upcoming album. The
Yes.
title alone feels very symbolic. Does this single also give us a little look at the upcoming sound on this 2026 debut album?
Well, if I don't remember wrong, I think it will be the first track of the album. So so it has something to do with that. And it's also because it's a song with a lot of symbolism, and the inspiration came from very different stuff at first. Um, so it's based more on a story of time traveling and stuff like that. So I thought it would be appropriate to call it that way.
Give me one word to describe this band, Abstracted Mind, as you go into this new album cycle in 2026. How would you describe it to someone for the first time?
Mm, can it be two words?
Two words are
Like
fine.
like like powerful and dramatic, both.
Nice. Powerful and romantic. Okay. Do you remember your first concert experience? What was the artist you went to see?
Like my favorite concert at all?
First concert you ever went to?
I think I think it was Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys
Yeah,
in
I was
Argentina.
a very in Argentina. I think I was very into boy bands or bands at all, like Spice Girls and Sync, those kinds of bands. I was little.
Hmm. Who would you love to collaborate to, dead or alive? Any artist?
Camelot, definitely
Hmm.
one of my favorite bands.
Nice. Very nice. All right. What are the plans for touring this year?
Well, we have a couple of gigs of upcoming presentations. One will be on March, and the other will be in April. We are playing some songs that will be part of the album, but not the full album yet. That will have to wait a little bit.
All right. So a couple of shows coming up, March and April. The album due out sometime after the summer, right? The new album is the plan right now.
Yes, yes, this is the plan right now. I think that if I have to guess, it will be September, October, something like that, but it will be after summertime.
All right, a little fall release, it looks like, for this new album from
Yes.
Abstracted Mind. She's Julie Hope, cinematic, powerful, and absolutely carving out a bold new chapter in symphonic metal. The debut album arriving later this year, and they've got some tour dates already. And follow them on social for more. Make sure you check out the videos for Where It Begins, Eternals, and Despair, and all of their other music too. Julie, thank you so much for joining me here on the Metal Queens podcast.
Thank you for inviting us. It's a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. And thank you for watching and for listening to the Metal Queens podcast. I'm Steve Richards. Like it, share it, subscribe to it, write a review. I will talk to you again next time.